Alright, this is a tutorial video on how to build an athlete's portfolio using the PageMall Web Builder. But before we begin, if you notice, I am using my desktop computer this time to give you a good visualization on how to build the site using your desktop. However, you could build the entire site using your smartphone or your tablet. It has that capabilities, but however, I recommend to get yourself started, use your desktop first, and then when you get to the point where you're blogging and you want to change images and change content, you have the ability to use your phone. And that hopefully that's something you do more frequently, is to update your web app, your website, using your phone. So let's take a look at some sites that were actually built using the PageMall Web Builder. So if you go to something related to fitness, such as Sweat Pros, which is my personal training site, you will see that this site is a full-blown site that was built with the PageMall Web Builder. Built in a day, 2 days. It doesn't take weeks. If you plan correctly, you could build this site fairly fast, matter of hours it depends on your content. Now, you could post videos using a YouTube link. Once you post the YouTube link, it will automatically embed into your site. So this is the blog section of my site. The main site, you could use your fingers if you have a touch screen. I am swiping using my fingers, and so same with your phone. I guess you have no choice but to use your fingers when you use your phone. And you could scroll up and down. So that's the beauty of a PageMall site. You could scroll sideways, up and down. Now this may lag a little because I am recording at the same time, but if I'm not recording, it'll be a lot more smoother. Another site you may want to look at is Web Wizzy, which is the name of my company. This site was built using the PageMall Web Builder. Okay, and like I said, if you plan correctly, this could take a day to build. You may want to hire or do some fancy artwork, such as you may want to get the logo professionally done, do some graphic design backdrops such as this. So that takes a little more time. Actually, the graphic design takes a lot more time than building your site. So another good example is the East County Muscle website itself. Using the PageMall Web Builder, this site was built using the PageMall Web Builder. Not the membership area, but most of the site was created using the Web Builder. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We are going to go to pagemall.com. If you need instructions, this is the site you go to, is pagemall.com. Now this site was not built with the Web Builder due to scripts, because we want to work offline. However, you could build a site very similar to this using the Web Builder. I'm sorry, I keep saying Web Builder. So let's get started. You could actually log in to your account here, if you like, or you could go to East County Muscle or any of our affiliated sites and log in like so. So I'm going to log into my Sweat Pros account, username, password, and you get, if you're coming from the East County Muscle website, you will get this button right here, says update my web app. And if you scroll down, there is a tutorial video. I'm probably going to update this with this new video right now. And then you have 5 modules. So if you are a registered athlete, you will get access to all 5 modules. If you're just joining as a member, you will have access to one. However, you could always upgrade for, I think, $29.95 a year, and you have access for 5 modules. And we hope you want to build more than just one site, because PageMall could be used more than just your athlete's portfolio. You could build a website for a small business. You could build a blogger site. We're getting to the point where you could build a small social network for yourself. So that's how sophisticated this is. The scoring, the electronic judging, that is a plugin that's being built into PageMall. I might show that a little bit later. Electronic judging for bodybuilding, bikini, physique competitions is going to be a plugin for PageMall. So that means anybody paying the extra fee, of course, you could have access to the electronic judging system. Okay, before we get started on building a site, let's look at some of the resources that we could use. So while you're here at the PageMall, the East County Muscle membership site, you will see this button right here that says download PDF. If you planned your project accordingly, your site will be built smoothly with no frustrations, with less frustrations. So this is a guide that you could use. You could download it. It's a PDF, and it starts you from the basics. Gather your objectives. What do you want to accomplish? How are you going to make money? Do you need an online payment system? And then it gives you a good idea of if you need to hire content writers, you need a graphic designer, design a logo. Do all that planning first, because you want all your content and artwork available before you build the site. If you're just going to build a simple site and you don't need graphics, then go ahead and start building your site. And it's a worksheet, so you get a good idea of like what links you want to apply to your website, and how to prepare the content, steps on how to prepare the content, and how to actually publish the site. So there's instructions on how to publish it. Now to have how to use it, you have to follow this tutorial to give you a good idea of each step by step. So let's go ahead and close that. So if you need additional help, you could always go to PageMall.com, and there's more additional help on there as well. So let's go ahead and get started. The first step you want to do is find your folder with content. Okay, so I'm going to be building an athlete's portfolio for a former bikini competitor of mine. And I'm pretty much organized here. I have photos that I want to use. I have a logo. And where you probably would want graphic design is to build these backdrops. So this is the backdrops that will go full screen. It'll look great on your desktop. Of course, when you use a mobile device, it will only shrink down to the center. You don't want it to shrink down to your mobile device, because then the photo of the athlete's going to be really tiny, tiny, tiny. So you want any picture that you want highlighted on a mobile device, you want it near the center. So she's a little bit off center, so she's going to be cut off and get most of the flag on the mobile device. Now, if you want the exact size, it doesn't have to be this exact size, but if you want your site to look like perfect from end to end, this is 1920 by 600. 1920 pixels across, 600 up and down. It doesn't have to be exactly that number, because the application will format it for you, will wide it for you. But if you get to 1920, 600, that is the optimized site. Now I have another one, and this is going to be used for her training background page. And then we have a flyer, and then of course I said I have a logo, and then the third thing, most important thing you need is content. So she hasn't competed for a while, so we just have these placeholders of nonsense content right now. But we're going to be doing 3 pages: biography, my training, and competition. And if you notice here, I have a link for a YouTube video that I will be posting. Okay, so now you have your content, you have a logo, you have a couple backdrops, and you're set to go. So remember what folder you put it in. Let's go ahead and open up one of these modules. I'm going to go to site number 4, press this arrow, and read the instructions. Welcome Sweat Pros, press corner edit button to upload a background image. That's usually your first step. So let's go ahead, and before we do that, this is the button we're talking about, and then you have 2 more buttons on the bottom. Once you get going, and you have backgrounds, you're going to be using the bottom buttons more often to either add text first or add an image first. Your choice. You could do the image and then add text after, or you could do the text and then place the image after. It's up to you. But if we press this button right here, we get to the page editor. Now the page editor has 3 sections, 3 tabs. First section is header, where you get to post your background screen. A subheader screen area where you post the name of the page and the name of the link. And then you have additional optional image that you could overlay over the background. So this comes in handy when you want to put a transparent logo over your full width background. It looks pretty snazzy. When you go to site information, when you go to that tab, this is where you upload your logo. This is where you can add additional pages. Now each PageMall portfolio comes with 5 pages that you will not need to add any pages. Standard 5 pages, which you swipe back and forth. So most people using PageMall will not need to add additional pages unless you have a business and a fancy site. So also administration areas, change the email address. Now, if you change your email address here, when you apply a form, it will go to this email address. So you may want to put one that you check often so you don't miss out on any messages that are sent to your site. Down here is where you could add network links from other PageMall users. So if once we build our community and when you have hundreds of users and you have friends you want to network with, you can do that, and there's a special backlinking feature. I'm not going to get into details, but if you know what a backlink is, once you link somebody, they could always go back to your site. Okay, and then the third tab is styles. This is advanced users only. This is where you could customize your site. Some of you, if you want a basic site, you will not need to be in this section at all. There might be a few times you're going to go to this section, you're going to be changing colors of the background, your fonts maybe, and then maybe applying some filters to some images. But most of users, unless you want customization, you will not be in this section. Okay, so that is the introduction to the page editor module. Let's go ahead and upload a background. So I'm going to hit this button, and we're going to choose File. This is background screen 1. And I need to find that folder. So I know it's on desktop and it's in Sonia Jernin's folder. Okay, so this is the folder that has all her files. The background I want is background-Irish. And if you notice, if you have a slow connection, wait a few seconds. I have a fast connection, so I could press upload right away and have no issues. But why you have to wait sometimes, because the image, if it's too big, it's going to compress it. You see, this is a 0.56 megabytes image. It's shrinking down to 0.21. This is a cool feature, because if most of your phones take high definition images, it's going to be too large to put on your site, and it's going to take too long to load. So you need a compressor to compress it so it loads faster. The big companies like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, they all have compressors. So if the image is small, it won't compress it, only if it's necessary. So let's go ahead and upload, and we have her image. Okay, so the next step, we could scroll over using this button, or of course we could use our finger if we want. Oops, I went too far on my finger. You could use your finger to scroll over if you have a touch screen. And let's add another image. So background screen image 2, and I think I want to use this one. Okay, and let that load, and we have background image 2. So PageMall automatically goes where you left off. If you are on page 2, it'll go back to page 2 if you do an edit. Let's move on to page 3. Let's upload a background, and we want to do Sonia stage, some stage women, and upload, and there you go. So remember, when you visualize on your phone, it is going to shrink. Okay, so this is about the size of the phone. This is kind of what I wanted. I didn't want her in the center anyways. And I want her on the side, and then you will get the center of these images. So if we expand, you could see it's only picking up these 3 images. So you have to have a little bit of graphic design. If you're just using some kind of pattern in the background, then it won't matter. Okay, now if you need to go back to your panel, and let's say you're done for the day, you could always log off, but you could always go back to your dash panel pressing this. So it goes back to the PageMall dash panel, not the ECM dash panel, because you've exited out there. But you could always go to site number 4 and come back later, come back the next day and continue your site. Okay, so now we got 3 backgrounds. What we want to do is put a logo at the top. Okay, so same button, and when you go to header, that's going to reflect on what page you're on. But when you go to site info and styles, this impacts the whole entire site. Site info is for the whole entire site. Styles is for the whole entire site, unless it specifies down here which screen you are changing. Like here, screen filters 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so site info is where you want to go to upload a logo. It says right here, change logo. Let's press that. Let's find Sonia's logo, which is Irish Girl right here. We'll open and give it a few seconds. There's no compression tool. Press update, and you can see top right hand corner, left hand corner, we have her logo. Now if you get in trouble, like for example, these buttons sometimes on different platforms, they don't work that great. Pressing the back button will take you to the home page. Also pressing the logo will take you to the home page. Okay, so now the site is coming along. I want to put something here. I want to say Irish girl bikini competitor right in the dead center. Okay, so we hit that button again, and we are in the header section, and we're going to type a header. So let's say Irish bikini competitor. And let's give it a page name, home. Okay, update. Okay, now it's here, but it's black and it's small. So you could do a little editing, and you might need a little bit of HTML if you want to customize this, make it a little look the size that you want. So we could go back and do a simple H1 and H2 that stands for header 1, header 2. Later on, we'll probably correct this interface so you don't have to, oops, sorry, H1, close H1. That's the simple HTML tag to make it a header. The biggest header is H1. H2 is a little bit smaller. H3 is smaller than H2. Let's go ahead and update. Okay, and there you go. It's bigger. Now, I don't like the color, so we need to use our styles editor. We need to go here, and now we got to figure out what is that. So that was a header, and the font is this, and the header title color is black. Now, if you don't know your color codes, you could simply Google it. Just type in HTML color codes, and you can get these 6-digit codes simply from the web. Later on, we will modify this interface so that you don't need to do all this typing. So this interface, yes, it's an alpha stage. It will be improved into like a nice graphic interface where you just press the actual color to post onto your site. So I happen to know the color codes FFFFF for white, 6 Fs, sometimes 3 Fs will work, and we will update, and there you go. We changed the header. Now there's other options where I could put a nice square shaded backdrop, but I'm not going to do that right now because I think it looks great right now. Okay, so we have that ready. Now let's go to the second page and let's do the same thing. This is the section where we want training. So we're going to say my training, all capitals, and we already know that we want a bigger text than the standard text. So H1, and we'll call this training, all caps. Okay, and there you go. And if you notice, we didn't have to change colors because we changed the colors for the whole entire site. Let's go to the third one, and let's call this competitions. So we're going ahead and going to header, my competitions, or just competitions. Okay, let's go ahead and start with H1 because we want to make it bigger. In the titles, competitions. Okay. Now we have 3 pages with 3 backgrounds with 3 title headers, and we have a logo on top. If you notice, the categories down here, and you go here and there's no category buttons. That's because this site is meant for swiping. It's meant for phone optimization. So you'll be using your fingers to swipe to each category. Most likely, most people will be doing that. You'd rather swipe than pressing 2 buttons. Press a button here and then press another button here. However, FYI, we have a feature to put the buttons on top. And let me just show you that. So you go back to this button again, and we go to styles, and there's a secret code. You go down, and that top button is called a navigator. We're going to change the navigator. So navigator styles, change navigator bar. You just type a 1 here. Okay, because we're going to have different style navigators later. We might have navigator bar number 2. So far we have 2 navigators, 0 and then 1. If we update, there you go. See, now you have buttons on top. Okay, but what happens here is I can't see her logo, and I can't see the button that's supposed to be here if you minimize. You could barely see it. That's because I have a black background, okay, and I changed my navigator. So I know a lot of people will want this navigator. That's why I'm showing it in this tutorial. But what you can do is change this navigator background. So it's same area, go to styles, and change navigator top bar background color. It was white, but that doesn't apply because you changed the navigator bar. What you want to do is actually do a gradient color. Now this is a little more advanced, but I think most of you guys will figure it out. I think this is the gradient color for red. I don't know. I think this is a red gradient color, but let's go ahead and give it a try. If you don't know your gradient colors, guess what? You could scroll down and see these color codes. You want red 255, so this is white 255, 255, 255, and that's what we want. So we're going to update, and there you go. You have a gradient color. Now I controlled the fade in the background so you could see through it. 0.7, 0.6. If we go back there, we could control how strong of the fade. This 0.6, the more lower the number, the more fade it will be. You'll be able to see through it. I mean, you won't be able to see through. No, you will be able to see through it more. But 0.6 is about the right number that I want. So let's go back. I hope you guys are still with me. So we can see her logo now because we put this backdrop, and this shows up on every single page. But the problem is the button. Okay, well, the button looks good. Sometimes you have to change the color of this button to white, and you do that in the same area. Okay, so her site is coming along. This is how it'll probably look on her phone or on anybody's phone. And now we're going to put some content. Now that we have 3 nice pages, you could press these buttons, go directly to those. Well, after you reload, actually, you could go directly to those pages pressing the buttons if you want that option instead of the scroll option. Let's go ahead and add some text. So this is the text editor, and it looks like Microsoft Word. If you're using your desktop, you're gonna have, if you cut and paste and you use your right button click to paste, it does not work because this is powered by TinyMCE, which is a third party, and I have no control over that. However, you could use your Control-C or Control-V on your keyboard. If you're using a mobile device, you will be able to use this right button, and you will have that paste option on your mobile device. Okay, so we're going to minimize this, and we're going to go to our folder again, and we're going to get some text. Open up Microsoft Word, and we're going to cut and paste this whole thing that says biography. Okay, Control-C. Let's move this aside so you can see both screens. All right, and we will paste it here. Now, important information. If you cut and paste text from the web and it's formatted, or you decide to format it using Microsoft Word, you might bump into issues. So you see how I have the option to format it, change the font, change the color, change the colors. That is not a good idea if you're building a site, because this format has to be carried on to another application, which is TinyMCE, which is not compatible. Probably copyrights or patents or something that protects that. So if you try and put the format here and you post, you're gonna have a hard time. So try and get the raw rich text file. That's what it's called, a rich text file. Make sure there's no formats. Now I could fix things such as make this into a header. I could center it. I could change the color to a different color, maybe red. Okay, and I like that. I post, and if you notice, there it is. Okay, and don't worry about formatting stuff right now. I know right now if you go full screen, the image, oh, which image I did, competitions? Okay, wrong page. Well, anyways, you get the idea. I'm in competitions, I put biography in the wrong page, but you see how it's veered to the left. Don't worry about that right now. Just get your content up on your site first, and then you could change that later. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I'm going to post an image on our home page. Okay, and I want to post this one. Okay, as you can see, the compressor is only for viewing purposes. It stretched her out, but don't worry, that's not how it's going to look. So we're going to upload it, and we have an image here. Now, this is huge. So I don't want it to be that huge. I don't want it to be full screen. So you could easily edit that. So once you upload an image using this or add text, the next step to change anything is to use this edit button here. So this is your edit button. This is to change the image or upload a new image. This is to delete the image. Okay, so we are going to edit this, and there's no text right now, but we could edit the text if there's any. We're going to scroll down a little, and we will see this advanced section where you could shrink the image. Okay, and pay attention to the notes. Auto wrap, that means the text will auto wrap if you shrink under 40%. So we don't want auto wrap. We're going to shrink to 50%, and then we're going to update. Okay, and you can see her image has shrunk. Now we could put some text. Let's go ahead and press the edit button again. And I think I already have text on my clipboard, so I'm going to paste it just like this. And we're going to do the biography again, since I screwed up the first time. Make it red. We are going to use heading 2 and center it. This is what it looks like on full screen. Keep in mind, if anything you post here and you save will be published automatically and it's live on the web. Right now, people don't know my URL, so nobody's going to see it except yourself. But once you give that URL and you configure a folder for yourself, or you get your domain name and it's configured, once you start updating here, it's automatic just like Facebook and Instagram. However, we suggest you use this scribble pad and put notes here, and you could save the draft. And keep editing this pad until you get it perfect. And then when you're ready, you press update topic and it'll automatically update it, like so. Okay, posted to page. So right now you don't see it, but if you go back, you will see that I lost my format because I updated it. So you could use an updated feature when you are ready to change things. Okay. Okay, so what happened here? See, it's still here, but what happens when I update it? It didn't. It also changed her image. So updating, I guess that's a bug. So if you use that update thing, it'll mess up your image and you're gonna have to redo your image. If you update it here, for example here, it does not affect anything. That's only if you use that scribble pad. Okay, good. Let's add a video. How's that sound? Okay, so we want to add text, and you see this section right here? This is where you post a video. So I'm gonna go back to her Microsoft Word and see this video. This is a YouTube link directly from the YouTube URL. That's all you need to do. Okay, and you post it here in the correct format. You see the format? It's the correct format. You post. That's all you need to do to put a video. See, the video's up already. Okay, so of course it went first, but as soon as you edit, it will move around a little to a different section, maybe to the second section. You have the ability to number these anyways. Let's say I want this first, I want this second. We simply just use our edit button and put priority 2. You could put 2.1, 2.3, and it automatically moves it. So you can number these 1, 2, 3, 4 into the sequence that you want. Okay, so we've learned how to do backgrounds, title images, logos, change your navigator bar, and we learned how to post images and videos. So there's a lot more we could do. Let's do a couple more just to get you guys familiar. We're going to add an image. We are going to choose from our computer the flyer. Okay, and give a few seconds and upload. And now the flyer is here. We don't want it to be the first post. We want it the third post. So we change it, and there you have it. You have the flyer. This will look great on your phone. This is give you a good idea of what it will look like on your phone. It's responsive. And now you could add text here, talk about the video, talk about a little bit about the competitions, and so forth. Now, there's a lot of cool advanced features that you could do. For example, if you don't want 3 in a row, you want one row or one column, sorry. You don't want 3 columns, you just want 1 column or 2 columns, or 1 small column, 1 long column. You want to post the text into this and just take away this title bar here. You can do that. This is too high, it's 600 pixels. You want 300 pixels, you can do that. You want to change the whole background to black, you could do that. You want this to be transparent, you want to just see the background without these boxes, you can do that. So this is just to get you started with the PageMall Web Builder. And we hope you guys get started. I'm going to post another video on how to do those fancy advanced techniques. The last thing I want you to show you though is we're going to go back. Okay, so this button's kind of hidden here because of the gray is matching the gray. So I'm going to have to change this color anyway. Go back to your dash panel. Site number 4 is what we're working on. We're going to press this edit button. And we're going to search the category name. So the category name I think is Irish Girl, lowercase. Make sure you do lowercase. And we're going to search for this in a subdirectory. Okay, so it is available. Congrats, directory name is available. Change your URL to PageMall Pages Irish Girl. Create directory, yes. And once it's done, now you have this URL for anybody to see. I could press this right now, and this is public viewable. Anybody can use their phone, can use their desktop, and view your site. So my suggestion is complete the site first before you do this. And then, like I said, you could update, blog if you want. It's so easy. You could use your phone to take pictures and update your site in real time using your phone. So this is the first video of many videos. I shouldn't say many. Maybe 3 tutorial videos on how to use PageMall. Now, like I said, you could use, this is a progressive web app. It is viewable offline when you go to the airport and you go and you have no internet connection. If you visit the site through pagemall.com, you'll be able to access the site on the airplane in airplane mode with no internet connection. Any PageMall site, but you must go to pagemall.com first to enable it. I'll show that in another video. All right, hope this video helps. If you have any questions, you could email us at admin@efitx.com. That's admin@efitx.com, and we'll be happy to help you. And if you want customized work, we are available for hire. A site like this to build, for us to do it with you doing minimal effort, just providing content, is around $50 to $100, and we could build a real nice site just like sweatpros.com. Maybe not quite like eastcountymuscle.com, but close to sweatpros.com. All right, and we are out of here. Peace out.